Hello everybody, I'm back for a final rapid game of the day. I've had a pretty mixed day here. I had some pretty painful losses and we're starting to lose our provisional status, which means it's going to be a very long climb to the higher rankings, which is unfortunate. So the 10 minutes is feeling shorter and shorter. I'm getting a lot of time loss on every game. So I'm just going to take the mindset of playing a bit faster. We see knight d2. The idea here obviously is in how white wants to meet on my setup. The problem with doing it this way is that, okay, well this isn't how you typically play the London, right? Well, why is your bishop not on d3? How did black get away with this? This is a very blatant attempt to ensnare my bishop. I can play h5 or I can play h6. I'm going to play h6. I don't need to play with h5 and give up the g5 square, although I'm sure h5 is fine. A move like this really encourages me to play c4. We've seen that in other games as well. So let's do that. I think I will probably end up playing bishop d6. I need to be a bit careful. If I have a piece on d6, even if it's my queen, I have to be wary of attempts to break through. Well, let's just back my bishop up. Really gunning for g5 here. I'm going to attack his bishop. Now I don't know if c4 is best. I mean, it's still natural enough, but it's a very weird position. You don't see this kind of often. For once in my life, I'm up on time. That's a nice change of pace. Of course, I'm not going to castle. I'm not going to commit to castling either way until I figure out what's going on here. If white's going to throw the kitchen sink at us on the king side, I'm not sure I'd want to have my king waiting. Now the thing is that I don't have to take this anymore. There's no bishop supporting the capture here. If I take and knight takes though, then it's fine. And if pawn takes, it's also fine. So actually I think taking makes sense. It opens up my rook. And I can castle queenside probably. If knight takes, I think I can just play bishop to a g6. So here I can play knight d7 or I can play knight e4. I like playing actively. I'm going to play knight e4 because f3 is not something I'm worried about because of the g3 weakness. Be very happy to see f3 actually. If we see knight f4, I will castle queenside so that my rooks are connected. f4 is such a weakening move. I can't fathom f4. Do I just play bishop f5? Attack the knight? Maybe I castle queenside first? If I play bishop f5, we're going to see knight f2. And then I could take, and the knight's in the corner. Just annoying for him. But I'm very indecisive here. Lost my time advantage. That's a shame. I guess. Is my to that notification sound come on? It did. I should remember to keep my sounds off. Let's go here, just in case he takes. I don't lose time doing this recapture, this little dance. I needed to castle queenside anyways. I'm not castling kingside anymore. And his king is actually not. It's not so clear where that's headed because queenside is a no-no. Our bishop cuts this quite cleanly. We'll have all sorts of problems for his king if it comes to the c1 square. And obviously the king side is not exactly open for business. So now is when we start preparing to bust open the king side. I keep making these arrows and losing my pre-move. Not really sure what white does here. It'd be, I think, too ambitious to expect white to attack the queen side. So we attack the knight. I really what? I wasn't so sure I want to take here. But I'm trying to play actively, so I don't have time to just to dance around the squares, and I think my next move is going to be bishop f5. The king takes. I'm going to make my other knight active. It's very awkward for the white king. Like, we can imagine what problem the king would have if it came to c1. Exactly. So now this gives me a chance to go. No, the knight would just come back to here. Well, okay, let's grab the tempo on the rook. Actually, yeah, so the rook has to come to a2. I can also okay, do what? If I can distract, if I can somehow get the heavy pieces off, I might have a fork. I don't want to, well, it's a bit tough. I think actually I'm just going to start to break open the position. I think that this is just as strong as maybe bishop f5 or bishop d3. And it's also harder for white to respond to. Yeah, so like I don't know if my bishop would be better placed here after the king moves away. And now what? How do I open things up? Maybe bishop f5 was well timed because there wasn't bishop g4 as a response. I can play e5. Let's just do that. I mean, this king is open. Let's just try to open things up. I don't actually see how it's opening up, which is why I wasn't so sure. But maybe our opponent will do us the favor of breaking the tension. If check, obviously, I'll just sidestep. So, yeah, I think adopting this manner of play is at least practically better than maybe playing more forcingly with like bishop d3. It gives, when it's more open-ended like this, my opponent has to think about what's going on. And that means I catch back up on time. So, and already see my opponent broke the tension, giving me a second open file to work with here. which means I don't even have to think about some of these moves. So, are we starting to see my opponent falter here? It's getting to be very awkward. And we're getting close to, yeah, so obviously if queen takes, we'll trade and then we'll win this piece. And if pawn takes, well, okay, congratulations. You've won a pawn and now your king is being killed. We'll be able to go like queen e6 maybe, or somewhere else. Or probably just, yeah, like queen here. Looks pretty good. So this looks like this is lights out for my opponent. Maybe the only move here is bishop to g2. I think this looks good. So bishop g2. I could take on g2. What else can I do? This doesn't work just yet, but can't untangle. I really want to get my knight active here. Okay, so also, is this just winning? To take on g2. Maybe. King takes g2. I have here. This looks pretty winning. What? There's no way. I have all these pieces around the king. Okay, so first of all, I have queen here. Check. And if the king comes to a light square, I have a discovered check. Then I'm going to pick up the rook, and I think my king just escapes the checks. And even if the queen comes after here, then I'll suddenly have, my rook and queen and bishop netting the king. So this looks pretty game over. Let's get check. Actually, maybe I just checkmate. Is there a way to checkmate here? I would prefer to do it cleanly. It looks like rook f. I'm just hovering over it, but I don't see how white escapes. That's mate. So, okay, not provisional, but my K factor is still letting me grab a fistful of rating every game. So maybe my immediate goal should just be 2200 since we're struggling to get even there. Let's flip on the computer analysis and take a look at this game. So yeah, so this is London system territory. And again, my opponent played a very odd move order. Obviously, they're doing everything they can to... Maybe it's not such an odd move order. This is also quite common. But the downside of this move order, rather than with knight f3, is that you spent all this time fixing the queenside pieces, which gave me time to bring my bishop out to f5, and then you don't get your bishop to d3. Already the statistics are quite nice for black. Bishop e2 is a very weird move. Honestly, my opponent's approach here, yeah, I like h6 rather than h5. Is h5 just a mistake? Sorry, I'm mincing my trains of thought here. Also, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Man, when you say you're about to sneeze, you don't sneeze. It's the secret. Yeah, h5 just felt like it was unnecessary. I liked h6. 4 mistakes. Okay, but it looks like they were all here. I missed knockout wins. Maybe 1, 2, 3 times. Where was the 4th mistake? Well, we'll find them as we go along. Okay, yeah, a3. a3 kind of begs c4. It's not the only move, of course, especially since white's being slow with the development. Bishop before knight, bishop to e2, knight to d2. I have more central control. But now that the computer's given some time to think, it's really a red flag for c4 in these positions. We've looked at that in other videos, so I won't go into such great detail. But yeah, in g4, just very aggressive play by my opponent. Knight h3. Yeah, I thought I played quite simply. And yeah, like knight e4, castles. Yeah, so up till this point, I felt like I'd really played, even here. Like, it said I had 4 mistakes, but I haven't played any one of those mistakes yet. I've very cleanly gotten the advantage, and I like that a lot. So I'm starting to be very happy with this game. f6, e5, my opponent helping me out. You can see how the evaluation drops when my opponent releases the tension. That's interesting. This was a move I played probably in like half a second. If we look at the move time, I played it in like 2 seconds. At this point, you can see we were reaching about half of our time, and I felt like it was such a normal move that I shouldn't, if I start spending 30 seconds on every move from here on out, I'll end up blowing the advantage. Queen h2, bishop f5, yeah. fe5. Oh, I don't even have to take, I can play queen d7. Okay, but it's the same, I thought it would be the same thing. So I had a forcing checkmate sequence. I did not consider just attacking the king, and probably I should have. Wow. Yeah, I didn't see that at all. And if the king goes to g1, I imagine I just have checkmate in 1. So I missed that. It was I don't fault myself for missing a checkmate when I played a move that was, well, okay, -4 isn't as winning as checkmate. Let's be honest. This is a missed opportunity, but I was seeing a winning continuation here with oh, the queen h6 wasn't even the right move. What move did I miss here? Queen h6, queen d7. So it did like queen d7 better. Okay, so yeah, rook takes g2 was clearly winning. So I don't fault myself for missing a forced checkmate sequence. And I didn't get greedy with taking the rook here. I did find that there was a really quick checkmate, so that's a little bit of redemption. What can we learn from this game? Let's see. Yeah, the opening went well. I like, I'm going to get a very simple position here. Like this. And when it comes to maybe what we can learn has to do with thwarting my opponent's activity here. I don't know. I felt like I played very normally. I don't know if I improve on it, it's going to be for very technical reasons. I don't know if I can improve my general understanding just from this game. I think there was a really nice flow up until things actually got tactical, and then it was my tactical vision. I just didn't calculate precisely, and that's something I can work on. If I get better at that, I'll do better. Even in these, low time situations, I should try to improve my vision. But so if I have to have a takeaway, I should probably do more checkmate puzzles. Also, I should probably check out what's going on here with e takes d4. Why is this so strong? Oh, I guess it just sets up bishop f5 without any of the hassle of taking on e5. Like if e takes, for example, just bishop f5. Yeah, it's like, okay, so I was waiting for my opponent to open things up, but they did, and now I should finish the job. Okay, so there was actually some non-tactical based logic to that as well. Multi-purpose move. That's something I can take away from this as a indicator for my intuition to think about when I should release the tension. But yeah, I played this. I was really hasty with playing here. I just thought, oh look, free tempo on the queen. But okay, I'll allow it. I won't beat myself up over that. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully we can I can follow through on my promises of getting to higher ratings. And I'll see you in the next games.